Hello, I'm your host, Nathaniel Johnson. I could be outside right now, but instead, this is Newsnight. So, starting off the week on Monday, we had the Hex auction. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, because, well, bigger and better things. It gave us a glimpse at what our economy could possibly be like in the upcoming times. And it's not looking bright, gonna be honest. So we spent more on an apartment building than we did on healthcare. An apartment building, by the way, with absolutely zero land value. Just, in case you're concerned about the other ones. No, those were... I'm surprised how much people were willing to pay based on the fact that they could maybe make a profit. But apparently, money is more important than money. Yeah. The government managed to buy healthcare, the power plant. They blew a lot of money in the power plant. Farm is MP owned. And a tree. Meanwhile, Mr. Michael Moneybags has education privatized, a farm, an apartment building, and a tree. So remember when I said last time that capitalists should be going over to the Alliance Party and be happy because... No. Ditch that. Go right, just run to the socialists. They're not socialists. It's flip. The whole thing's a lie. Everything's backwards. Run to the socialists. But that was Hex auction, and today is Tuesday, and this is when legislation in the government started. So the first thing they did was introduce the Speaker of the House, which was Melanie. No major surprises there, but whatever. They also elected the national judge they first nominated Johnny for, who turned it down. Then they later nominated Taylor, who accepted, and that's their national judge. So after electing the Speaker of the House, they began to introduce their first bill, which was the Protection for Necessities Act of 2000. So I have to give kudos to whoever named these bills, because they knew exactly what they were doing. Man, I don't want to go against the protection of necessities. So what this bill did was it made sure that we couldn't destroy the environment to kill ourselves, and it made sure that we couldn't overcharge on necessities of life, so people who couldn't afford more than $500 for food wouldn't die. And since we're in an energy crisis right now, and I don't even know how we managed to get there yet, because we haven't done anything, instead of trying to fix the energy crisis, we're just gonna do, so if you lose a family member because of it, and only if they don't have a home, then we'll give you some money for it. If your son Timmy dies because he was out in the street in the freezing cold, here, $5,000. So, a couple things wrong with this. First of all, you're assuming that people will keep quiet about something because you're giving them money even though one of their family members dies, which, does that sound like any normal person to you? And on the other hand, this could result in people farming family members' deaths for money. You can get money off of people dying. That sounds great. I mean, kick Timmy out in the cold, get $75. Sounds good to me. So they put a price on what life was worth. And I'm sorry, but that's not going to be good enough. If my family's dying outside in the cold, I'm not going to accept a couple $1,000. Well, I'm going to accept $1,000, but I'm going to complain about it afterwards. Suddenly it makes sense why they were able to get away with that. And the next bill, oh man, the protection of the free market. It's free, even though we legislated prices and the other clauses in the bill before that, but it's a free market. This bill made clear how much the government could own and how much everyone else could own. It put a cap on the tax limit. It basically stopped the government from owning everything. So, that's kind of cool. The Fair Elections and Democratic Values Act. Someone's been taking notes from Stephen Harper. The point of this act is to make Mr. O'Connor's life as miserable as possible while using paper ballots, and also making sure that people have literally no excuse to not vote. So, that does seem fair, but I guess it has some ups, like if you're not there, you can send your ballot in and then they'll still count it. But I just think they wanted to make the joke about Stephen Harper. Oh, by the way, we're having an energy crisis, according to the Alliance, but they're giving away free energy units. And the rest of the energy units that aren't being given away for free are going to be auctioned off. So they're auctioning units during a crisis in which the units are in short supply, and they're not expecting inflation to fly. If people were willing to spend that much on apartment buildings that had no well-being points, I don't even want to know how much they're going to be spending on EI units. I think we should spend less time trying to cover up the energy crisis and spend more time trying to fix it. Why are we going to have an energy crisis? Is there any way to avoid it? They just gave up. They're like, oh, no, there's no way to avoid it. Trust us, we're the government. This is just ridiculous. People are going to die. They got elected by saying people are going to die. That shouldn't happen. Thank you for watching. I'll have you filled in with more of your Social Stand news as it comes up. And Don't starve.